Good morning, welcome to our live talk program. This is Lloyd Grubb here, your host on Revive Reform Radio, doing our live talk program covering natural health on this your Wednesday morning Rise and Shine. And this morning here, we're looking at the topic facing the realities of aging with its changes. So facing the reality of aging with its changes. This is what we're looking at here. So welcome again to our live talk program, and hopefully you had a blessed night rest. And thanks for stopping by with me here or tuning in with me here. Let's pray. Our Father who art in heaven, I thank you for the blessings of your word. I thank you for the blessings, dear Lord, of the instructions that you give us and wisdom that you give us, dear Lord, to face life's challenges. I pray that you may bless us as we study and meditate on these things this morning. For Christ's sake, amen. So I'm looking here at facing the realities of aging, getting older with its changes. And I'm going to be just sharing some thoughts that I have more recently over the last few years about getting older and some of the things dealing with others in ministry and just in personality, person and family. Things that I think often are not, it's hard to, I guess, difficult to deal with, or people just want to ignore that reality as set in and way past gone, and things that they need to deal with, they're not dealing with. So this is what I want to talk about here as we do this live program. Now, before I get into that, which is basically making the necessary physical and mental adjustment as we get older, I wanted to share one little quick article here on health that I think is just a interesting piece, that is something I think about a lot, and I see the changes are happening, and it is this here I want to change is on CVS, I think it is. Yes, CVS. So the topic is, and this is a quick note, and then I'm going to get to my topic. I just wanted to put that in there for your edification. So CVS announces further expansion into healthcare services, and it's doing these stores called Health Hub stores. And this is taken from Associated Press. CVS Health is pushing deeper into health services with plans to add dietitians, medical equipment, and space for occasional yoga class to 1,500 stores over the next few years. The drugstore chain that quit selling tobacco several years ago said Tuesday it was expanding a store model it recently tested. Its Health Hub stores will have about twice as much space devoted to health care as other locations and will aim to help people with chronic conditions like diabetes. The expansion comes as rival Walgreens experiment with adding primary care offices and as the U.S. healthcare system turns its focus to keeping patients healthy instead of waiting to treat them once they become sick. Insurers and other payers have started covering things like dietitian visits with the hope that such care keeps patients out of expensive hospitals. So I'll pause here a little bit, and I just wanted to add this because this is the part that I think is edifying. As you've noticed in almost all hospitality, everything in the hospitality industry is moving to more services. And I don't know if you've been watching this, but I've been watching this and I believe in this. That's why I take it in such a way. I think this is important and I wanted to share this with you. So a lot of the hospital industry is going over the top, adding more services. And even with the medical system and the insurance, they're realizing more and more it's cheaper to put some money into prevention than it costs to basically deal with the sickness. And, for us, we really believe that it's, what I say, an ounce of cure is better than a ton, a pound of treatment after. I think I messed that one up, but you know what I'm saying. So it's better to try to prevent. An ounce of prevention is better than a ton of cure. I think something like that. So it's better to work on the prevention. It's better to be ahead of the game. And this will go kind of hand in hand with what I'm going to talk about when it comes on to face the reality that you're getting older. And don't just say I'm getting older, but face it in a serious way. I mean, go at it. So when we look at this issue here with CVS, and I'll read the rest of the article to you. I just want you to keep that in mind, that a lot of what's happening in I don't want to say inventions, but the moves that they're making in like the services industry, whether it be even fast food industry, fast food restaurants, they've retagged themselves. They don't call themselves fast food; they call themselves fast service. So the food is not fast; it's the service. If you notice, a lot of the fast food restaurants, they're redecorated their store to make them look more like a restaurant. They've made them look a little bit more upscale. So when I'm talking about fast food, I'm talking about your McDonald's, Burger King, that type of restaurants. So they don't look so kiddie. They look like something you can go and have a good meal. And so it is even when you look at the hospital industry, they've become very much more efficient in care. When you look at the pharmacists now, they're changing and they're becoming more preventative in care. And same thing with the hotel industry and all that. Is this kind of over the top care. And I believe that's the same way we should work when it comes on to church. The building, the services, what the church offers should be much broader than what it is, more in line in a more professional way with what Christ offered. So always love this type of information, because I feed on this, because I really believe that pushing better care to the clients, to the patients, is always better, because what you do, you prevent. The prevention is better than the cure, so to speak. So this expansion is coming after Walgreens. CVS leaders think the company can play a key role in this movement by making healthcare routine instead of something people think about only when they visit a doctor. The ultimate goal is bring more health services to people's community, where they can access them as part of their daily lives. And this is beautiful, and I really believe in this. But the drugstore may face questions about their motive. Never mind competition from major doctor groups and hospital system that have their own support staff working to keep patients healthy. And the motive is money. Most actually CVS is in the business of making money. But if there is a gap or a hole in the service, and they want to provide something more and make more money, and it translates into better patient outcome, so the patients do better, I'm for that. Even if the motives is just to make more money, they see a opportunity there. And remember, they have lost a lot of money from not selling tobacco. And I think that's where it's sometimes difficult for people to make the transition. When you lose something, you don't just sit there and lose it. You have to innovate and say, okay, we're not selling tobacco, we lose our income stream. What can we do? And I said, well, make the store more of a community center, more of a clinic, and we make some money there. People come to the store more, they buy more stuff, they have more bandages for their wounds, they have more ointments for their sores. Hey, it can't hurt. So I understand this from a straight dollar and cents point, and also if it's better for the community, do it. If it's better for the community. The ultimate goal, continue here quoting, this is the vice president of CVS. He says the ultimate goal is to bring more health services into people's community, where they can access them as part of their daily life. I'll continue reading here. This says the management of chronic illness has become a big source of healthcare spending, noted Harvard researcher Dr. Ativ Moratra, who has studied retail clinic growth. This is sort of the pot at the end of the rainbow that everyone wants to get to, he said. CVS Health, based in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, runs more than 9,800 retail stores nationally. Late last year, it added health insurance when it acquired one of the nation's biggest insurers, Aetna, in roughly a $69 billion deal that is still being reviewed by a federal judge. And I could see why they would review it, because now they're the pharmacists and now they're the health insurance. Next, they're going to buy some hospitals, and now they're doing everything. which is probably a bad thing or a good thing. Soon after announcing that deal, CVS officials started talking about plans to provide more health care help to customers. Aside from visits with dietitian, Health Hub stores will also give customers a chance to get screened for eye problems caused by diabetes, talk to pharmacists about their treatment plan, and get help tracking their blood pressure. The store reduced space for things like seasonal merchandise in order to add community room that can be used for free chair yoga session and nutritional classes. The company started testing the changes in Houston late last year and will add more to that market this year, as well as to expand to Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Tampa. CVS officials say they expect to run 1,500 Health Hub stores by the end of 2021. Separately, Walgreens will start adding primary care clinics next to some of its stores in the Houston area through a partnership with Village MD. It also tested clinics in Kansas City that focus on older patients through a partnership with the insurer Humana. The drugstore chain want to improve access to primary care for its customers, says Walgreens executive Dr. Pat Carroll. We have an aging population, he said. It is difficult in many communities to actually find a primary care physician. Both Mehrotra and Harvard researcher Dr. Kevin Faux said drugstore services may make it easier for some patients to get help, but they said it is critical for patients to patients regularly doctor to stay updated on all care, especially if the patient has a few conditions and takes several medication. Faux, a New Hampshire-based physician, also worried that drugstores may use their healthcare services to drum up prescription business or sales in the rest of the store, which would I assume. CVS is offering additional health care in stores many customers already visit routinely, and is focused on putting those customers on a path of better health. Frequent CVS customer Grace Bennett said she thinks the expanded healthcare service are a fantastic step. The 28-year-old New Yorker has diabetes that led to eye surgery. She said screening for the condition and other healthcare services available through the drugstore will make it easier for people to get help without having to juggle, schedule, and worry about finding an open appointment. I think they'll be helpful to a whole lot of people. So that's much actually what it is. It's if you're getting healthcare screening, that's going to drum up more business. As I said, this is a business move by what's them called Walgreens and CVS. But it's a business move that makes sense, and this is something I really have believed for years, that not only these type of institutions should offer more care that has to do with preventative, but just offer more services that are more in line. And like it never made sense to me to go in a pharmacy and see they're selling tobacco. It doesn't make sense for them to sell anything that will cause harm to an individual. These things are more in line with their work. I believe it's the same thing with churches. I believe that churches, should even start their own health insurance. That's how much I believe in this type of stuff. That you offer more care to the people, and take the dollars out of it. In other words, the profitability out of it, so that you can offer it at a good deal. So seeing this type of moves makes sense. And as I say, I've been noticing that trend in various different environments, because I think there's an effect that is happening where the people who sit on these boards, they themselves are dealing with these things. This is not something new, and this is why I'm going to, in a second here, switch to my topic, the main focus I want to talk about you today. But I just want to share that because I think if you're dealing with something and you realize you take either herb or you do a little bit more exercise, or you do something, you get a result, then if you're sitting on the board of one of these pharmaceutical, this drugstore, and you're looking at, you're thinking, probably if I'm doing yoga, probably I should have a yoga class. And that's it. If you're doing that, if I'm doing some exercise, I probably should do that. If I'm seeing a dietitian to get some advice to bring down my cholesterol or to deal with diabetes, probably we should just have that in the pharmacy and offer that as a service, because some of the things that the people are going to need, we're going to sell it in the pharmacy anyhow. If the dietitian say, probably try some turmeric, well, you can probably get that in the pharmacy. So that's not a bad thing. And it's the same thing when it comes on to not just that type of solution being offered, but if you have a cut, and because you have diabetes and the cut not healing, and there's a solution to be sold at the pharmacies, or the pharmacy itself, the pharmacy part of a drugstore, or it's an over-the-counter product, that's more business for CVS, Walgreens. I think it's a good money-making choice, but it's also could be good as long as they don't do wrong in just trying to offer things that the people don't really need, which is always going to be a temptation to drum up sales to, prove the profitability of the move. But I think it would be profitable because people need. There's a lot of times somebody have a cut and they probably don't just have a Band-Aid. But if they're regular at the pharmacy, they'll just pick up a Band-Aid. More money for CVS. So we'll watch that and we'll see the results. I'm sure they're going to be showing the financial results by 2021. We're already at 2019. So that's that. And that, notice here, this is important also to mention because we have an aging population. So as the population get older, there's these type of services that are becoming more mainstream. The conversation about them expanding services, offering more, becomes more normal. It's just part of the normalcy of what's happening. So it's important to think on that. And then that take me to what I want to talk about. So what I want to talk about, my main topic here is facing the reality of aging with its changes. So there's this making the necessary and necessary physical and mental adjustment as we get old. This is something that you'll be hearing me talk about much more in the coming months and weeks, because I believe this is such an important thing that I'm going to just broach. I'm going to start a topic, but we'll be going a lot into this topic in the upcoming weeks. This is important for you as an individual, and it's important for the people in your life that are older, that are supposed to be making some adjustments, and they're waiting for tragedy to happen before they make the adjustment, as if the adjustment is not going to come. But the adjustment is going to come. It's either you're going to, in this life, you're going to adjust to new realities, or you're going to be forced to adjust. When you're forced to adjust to new realities, it makes life more out of control and things more shocking. But when you adjust to the reality as if, you have two hemispheres up there in the cranium, then it makes it easier for you and for those who are around you. And so facing these things and facing that adjustment must come, or will be forced upon you, or you'll be very uncomfortable if you didn't make those adjustments when you're in your health. You see, you make the adjustment before events happen. You don't wait until you're forced into it, because if you're forced into it, it's going to either leave you very uncomfortable or it's going to leave you in a terrible way. And so why this is important for every single person I'm talking to, because that's part of life. And if you're not dealing with these life-changing adjustments that are forced upon us without our choice, you have somebody who's older in your family who is not dealing with it. They're not talking about it. And some people, they're so ridiculous and ignorant when it comes on to this type of stuff that they don't even want to talk about it. They get aggressive when you try to broach the conversation. And so I'm talking to you here. I want to encourage your mind. And I will do this consistently, I should say. Not weekly, but I'm just saying, because it's becoming such a troubling thing, especially because we have so many aging people around us. And we ourselves are getting older. and we are not making those adjustments. I'm going to start off by reading here. First text I'm going to read for you here is Psalms 103, verse 1 through 5. Psalms 103, verse 1 through 5. The text that I often read when we talk about anti-aging, talking about overcoming, dealing with the realities of aging to stay young. I'm going to read it in a different way for you here. Notice here it's a Psalm of David. It came to a point David got so old that he couldn't even keep his heat. He couldn't keep warm. Metabolism had slowed down so much that he was cold. So the person who's writing this ultimately had to face the reality that aging is something you can't do anything about. So this is a Psalm of David. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth my life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfy thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagle. Just love verse 5. Who satisfied thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. You want to soar. You want to soar to mountaintops and to look down into the deep ravines, into the deep riverbed, as you as an eagle soar. This is what we want to do. And when we eat good things, our youth is renewed like the eagle. I'm always fascinated by that. You take garbage in, you feel like garbage. You take good things in, you feel great. You feel like an eagle. You feel like you're just riding on the wings of the wind. So that's the reality. But the sad reality is that, as I said, the person who wrote this ultimately succumbed to the results of aging, succumbed to the results of a life of war, and just got old and sick and then ultimately die. And so as you remember the story of David, is as David got older, he started to set certain things. Start to focus on legacy. Start to set certain things in order. He prepared for the building of the temple of the Lord, though he was told that his son had to do it. Somebody, not just because he had blood on his hand, but somebody that was young, had uncrippled energy, had some fresh thoughts, fresh energy. Imagine somebody that was losing his mental strength, was losing his physical strength, was going to be having problem with metabolism, keeping the energy going. He was not going to be the best person to build the temple of the Lord. And so, but he did the work that he had to do. As a whole statesman, he basically prepared the way, prepared the material, secured the offerings, did the prayers, select who was going to be the wise person to build a temple and going to lead Israel. He made preparation for the fact that he was not going to be around. And I've noticed this with a lot of people, especially even ministry. Notice that when a major preacher died, they normally die with the ministry. They tend to not focus on, it's time for me to pour my wisdom and my mentoring into somebody else, because if I continue to live, I'm going to just get older and fade. And so before I fade into nothingness, I need to select who is my replacement, who's going to become after me. And David had choices, but he made a choice. He didn't allow it to happen, by happenstance. He says Solomon will be the heir. So he knew who he was looking for and knew who was going to be that person. So very important. These are things that one has to do, because the reality is going to come whether or not you like it. And so we're going to look at that. So one of this I want to say, first thing here, is that as you get older, according to this text, your youth is renewed by what you eat. And so as we get older, we more go towards the diet that was in Eden. It's fruits, nuts, seeds, grains, and vegetables even. You throw that in there. But as you get older, your food should start to be more like food to renew your youth. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get old. It's just going to mean you're going to slow the process down, and you're going to treat your body more tenderly, as you get older. This is to me facing the realities of aging. Part of facing the reality of aging is that whether or not you thought it was a good idea to be a vegan and to be a fruit and vegetable eater in a high degree, when you were young, as you get older, separately from all the issue about meat and the disease and the aging process that it pushes on, it's just as I'm getting older, I see the need to eat more natural, eat more plant, tree ripened stuff, eat more organic, and eat more foods that are tender on the body, gentle on the body. And because, if you notice a person's, their metabolism is slowing down and they get broad, instead of because they don't grow tall anymore, they grow wide. So if you want to be able to age and face the reality of aging, I think one of the things you do is you start to eat to keep yourself leaner. So less seeds, less nuts, less even legume and grains, more tubers, ground produce, more fruits, more vegetable. You eat food that are more natural, more tender on the body. No GMO, none of that type of stuff that is the body can't recognize. Cut out the fast food, cut out all that hard food. Eat food that will digest in 4 hours, 5 hours, and that's it. And you do like that. That to me is part of facing, because what it is that your body's getting old, and if you can, do everything you can to avoid a hip replacement, a knee replacement, you do it because now that's your reality, and that's our reality. You do the things you can to act as if you're getting older, and so you act like it. You give up the substance abuse and all these type of stuff. That's more reality. That's more in line. Some of what I will talk about going forward will echo that text. So, because this is how it is, this is what's happening. In Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1 through 7, Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1 through 7 says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, when the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So it's coming. CVS is making a wise move, as I said earlier, on Walgreens. As the population get older, they have no choice. None of us have any choice. The doctor in the hospital is going to become more frequent. So this is where I always believe with this, that remember the Creator in the days of thy youth. Because when the days come and they come darker, I think they come faster and darker, more dark, when you don't remember the Creator in the days of thy youth. Everything that you deal with, everything I'm going to read next, becomes more difficult and more pronounced and more rapid if you beat your body up. So, but separate from that, whether or not I beat my body up or you beat your body up, and you could treat yourself so good. We all aging, we all growing older. Our hormonal profile, the way our brain works, everything changes. So we got to prep for that. So most people, I say, don't want to prep for it because I think they're in denial or they don't know what to do. So I'm going to give you some ideas here. More ideas started already. So while the sun or the light or the moon or the star be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So, your eyes grow dim. Basically, it's metaphor. Everything we're reading here is metaphorical speaking. He's talking about as the body basically grinds down, get older. You got to realize, remember the Lord now. But I'm just reading this as the context. Facing the realities that you're going to get old and just prep for it. Because, your eyes are going to grow dim. And all these things are going to happen. So if I know my eyes are going to grow dim, I'm going to try to line them up right now. But they're going to go dim anyhow. So, it doesn't matter. It just matters that I don't want to make it I'm not in a rush. Some people say, we all going to, get old and die. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not in a rush. And as I get old, I don't want to be as punished as others. That's all. But it's happening. Verse 3 says, "In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened. So your hand get weak, your foot get weak, your teeth start to lose your teeth, and then your eyes not as bright as it used to be. This is the reality. So that would tell me if I was going to make a change according to this text, I would make sure that as I get older, I'm in a one-level house, a ranch. So if my foot is getting weak and my hand's getting weak, I don't want to be climbing stairs. That would be some of the changes you make. Or you get an apartment and you get a first floor apartment. You don't want to have to maintain in yard. You don't want to have to doing all house maintenance. You want to limit it. So as you're getting weaker, you can take the load off your foot, take the load off your hand, and you start to eat, as I say, more tender food because the grinders are few. If you have the money, you get some implants. Go to the dentist and say, "Dentist, I have no teeth, but I have limited little amount of teeth, but I have money. So I'll give you your money, and I'll give you my money, and I'll take some implants so I can have some grinders." That's the miracle of modern technology, and I can get my full grinders again. But that's just the reality, and that's why you save your teeth as much as you can when you're younger, because as you get older, you want to still grind away at something. And that's just the reality. And when you start losing your teeth, you start realizing, I guess I'm going to die. So you face these things and you make some adjustments. Notice here, verse 4, "And the door shall be shut in the street when the sounds of the grinding is low, and shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." So if you notice, when a young person is young, they're into music, they're into movie. Who is the latest singer? Who's the latest movie star? And after a while, you're like, yeah, whatever. And notice here, people I know will go to bed early, wake up early, and you see people doing that. They don't want to go out as much, because to go out and run the streets take a lot of energy. And as you get older, I just want to stay home and all that. So to me, one of the preparation you make here is you make your house comfortable. You make your house fixed. You fix your house up. If you're going to be in a house, wherever you're going to be, you hook it up for your comfort. You make it arrange. You get rid of the junk. You clean out all your junk. You take it and you do a heave. And you heave it and throw it as far as you can from yourself to the dumpster. And you get rid of the stuff. Make life simpler, more arranged, more organized. Clutter is confusion. If you're having Alzheimer's disease or you start to forgetful, but you're not even having Alzheimer's or dementia, you just want to just clean up the clutter around you. Get rid of the junk, every extra stuff. The more stuff I look at, the more confused I am. But I have the mental power to deal with it now. But there's a lot of things I would not do as I get older. I always remember this idea here that I said to myself and Elder Jose at my church, I say, hey, look, you do certain things when you're younger because the old age is coming. You're not going to do it. You do it when you have the energy and you're banging out now. And so that when you get older, you already did the work. So you can pull back. This came to me particularly because somebody in the ministry world in Adventism got a stroke recently. And I was thinking about it and thinking the person runs hard. And I was thinking, by now this person should have had a protege or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 protege that he's helped promoting and running them hard, sending them out, making them do all the grunt work. And that's a good thing. And then he pulled back because of the age. It's just the reality. But most of these people I've noticed is a generation that they'll run themselves right into the grave. And they have no care for themselves. They don't understand. I'm older now. I'm hitting my 60s, going towards 70s, and our 70s going towards 80s. And I'm running as if I'm a 20-something, 30-something year old. It makes no sense. You're going to damage yourself. Your body's old. It's just part of reality. It is nothing unique for a person. I should say not unique, but it's not surprising when a person who is running hard, not taking care of themselves, not eating properly, always on the road, not exercising, not doing all this, to come down with a stroke or a heart attack. it is more, as I say, when you go to a funeral of a person that's young, it's devastating. You go to a funeral of a person that's old, you celebrate the life. You're like, they lived a good life. Close the casket. It's been good. It's okay. And so there's no shock here. There's no try to explain it away. You're older. You're getting older. Get off the street. Start taking care of body. Start seeing a dietitian, as they say. Start to see a nutritionist. Start to go do some exercise. Go buy some exercise equipment. Go get a massage every now and then. Buy some oils and pour it on your head like Moses pouring oil on the head of Aaron. Oil yourself down. Make yourself comfortable. Clean up the clutter in your house. Downsize. Get something simpler. Get a more reliable car. These are the things one has to do because, you're that age. It's okay. You've put in the labor. And if you didn't put in the labor and the labor didn't translate into money, get yourself a more reliable car that's cheap. Get a regular cheap car. Leave some things for the young people. Notice here, continue, it says, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshoppers shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about their street. And so this is what it said, desire shall fail. When you get older, your hormonal system changes. And so there's certain herbs you're gonna have to think about taking to boost back your hormonal production. Because hormones affect your brain, the way your brain thinks, from about 10 weeks. The hormones start hitting the brain, whether it be estrogen or testosterone. 10 weeks in the womb. But as you get older, this production decreases, and so your level of testosterone, estrogen, all that stuff decreases. Your ability to build muscle decreases. So hard work is change. I've talked to people in their 30s, and I say, man, you're in your 30s. You need to start figuring out if you're going to do a trade or a career and switch, because 10, 15 years from now, your body is going to start running into a wall, and you're going to realize you're not what you used to be. You make the switch while you have the energy. But most people are thinking about making this. No, they ain't even thinking about it. And when they start hitting their 50s and their bodies start to really work against them, they're shocked. By then, it's too late to make the change because they're getting closer and closer to the age where they're unemployable. They are medical and all kind of risk to a worker. As a matter of fact, it's harder to work. It's harder to work with people who are older because a lot of time they have 401k, they have some retirement money, they're getting closer to social security, the energy is knocked out of them, the hormone is not working, and so the drive is not there. So a young person, they're ready to take on the world and take over the world. An older person, they're talking about investments. So you say, why investments? Why not building the business? Oh, no, I already done that work. I'm at the age now, I need to put my money to work. I don't need to put my body to work. So it's hard to build when people are of that age because the drive is not there. The drive is not there because it's just not there. Desire fails. So before the desire fails, are you still thinking, I want to make some money because I want to drive that new car? That's when you put in the labor, because the car now become your motivation for the labor. I want to put in the work because I need a spouse or I need a house. But as one get older, those desires are not there, so the drive is not as there. So as that change comes, you need to prep up for that change. And so I've talked to people and said, be careful. Now is the time for you to start putting away some of your acorns. And start to switch careers. And start to think about your future. Start to think about retirement. But you don't per se think about retirement in your 30s. Because most of the time, most of your money is going towards paying bills and wasting it on things that are not bread. Verse 6 and 7 says, or ever the silver cord be loose and the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. The rock, the energy, the life force that is the secret sauce of life. It goes, and when it goes, Whether it goes because you die or because it's going slowly because you have a disease, it's the reality. And as you get older, you start to realize this is a reality. Don't be shocked, as I say, when your energy level drop, when your drive drop. When that massive drive you have when you were 20s is just not there when you're 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. Where you feel like you could eat a cow and you could kill a cow. I know you don't feel like that anymore. Well, you readjust. You don't eat a cow because you're not 16 anymore. And you don't try to kill a cow because it might kill you. In Psalms 90 verse 9 and 10, Psalms 90 verse 9 and 10, it says, all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. The days of our years are 60 years and 10. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years, yet is their strength labor and sorrow, for it's soon cut off and we fly away. So this is just the reality. It is part of reality, and I think in life is, as I say, if you are bind up, you're tied up, and you struggle, you might cut yourself. You might cause more bruising. If you want to get out of that bind, it's something you have to calm yourself, calm your nerves, and think for a second, and probably you can figure out your way out, or figure out to make your life easier. So it's important. It is like a tale that is told. It is something that happened to everybody before us. Look at your parents around you. Look at your parents and your aunts and your uncles. And that can tell you where you're headed in 2 decades if life lasts. In a decade. And that can tell you what you need to do now. Because you have insight, foresight, foreknowledge of what to do. And so you don't wait until certain things happen to you and then you're shocked. As if, I can't believe this is going to happen. It's going to happen. Make your preps now. If you have the age on your side, now it's time to put in your heavy labor. Because winter is coming, where the hair grows gray. But until that comes, and you have some energy, ask yourself, how am I going to be living 10 years from now? Somebody said, but I'm not knowing if I'm going to live 10 years from now. It doesn't matter. You ask yourself that question, you make that prep. You always plan 5 to 15 years out. At least a vague plan in your head. And if you're looking at it, you're thinking, I'm going to be uncomfortable. And you have energy now, now's the time to make your changes. So here's some of the changes. I mentioned some of them already. Some of the lists I put up here. And I say we'll talk about this more because there's so many people you know and you yourself need this. Downsize is a very important thing. Downsize become way important now. And downsize is not always a solution. Sometimes the solution is the second thing I have on my list here is maintainable. Because you could be in a situation where you're good. You have a property that's maintainable. Notice I say maintainable. If you have a dump and it's ready to fall on your head, probably now is the time for you to think about renting. It's like life goes like that. It's a thing where it goes up and then it comes down the mountain. You probably started out life where you got a little job, your little career, and you started renting, and you go from renting to owning, and you go from owning to probably owning something larger, and then now it's time to head back down the hill. It's life. So to me, it's always, is the property you have maintainable? Is it being maintained? Or is it a property that you need to let go because it's either too big to maintain or it's not in the condition and you need to just cash it out and get what you can and go to something more maintainable? Those are two things that, it depends on your circumstance. So you could be in a property, it's just too large and too much money being wasted, and you probably don't have the money. If you have the money, it's different, I guess. But you don't have the money, the time, or the energy to maintain it because of the size, or you don't have the mental energy, whatever it is, to maintain it and keep it going. And it's not comfortable. If I come to your house and it's cold, or it's too hot in the summer, and too cold in the winter, then probably it's not maintainable. So that has nothing to do with even the repairability of the house. We're talking about just you can't maintain it, but you can't keep it hot. And to me, as you get older, maintaining, having comfort is very important. It would better to be in a one-bedroom apartment or a condo, and it's very neatly put together. It's newer appliances. It's warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and you can maintain that. Than to be in a house that is falling apart, it's frigid cold in the winter, it's hot in the summer. Look, you need heat, but you need a level of heat to keep healthy. You can't be too hot, you can't be too cold. If you're too cold, you can get sick, pneumonia and all that. Why live like that? So you're in a house now and it's falling apart, you can't fix it up and stuff like that. But if you're in a house and it's even a little bit too big for you, but you can maintain it. It's not too much work. I never have to hear a complaint. I say, oh man, this house is too much of a headache. Get out of it. You just told me what you need to do. You get out of it, or you get out while it's good. Get out while you can get out when the market is good. And you go to something that is comfortable. As one get older, I think the word comfort becomes more important. We as human beings, we need out a creature comfort. Because as I say, we don't build with hoofs, we don't have horns, we don't have hide. So we need a lot of comfort. We don't do good in extreme temperature, extreme hot or extreme cold. We don't molt, that's what they call it, where they shed their hair. We don't do that in the winter and winter, summer type of thing. So for us, we need to be comfortable. You need to have a comfortable set of clothes, newer clothes. If your clothes smell like musty, don't smell like an old person. Why smell like that? You're in a musty house with musty clothes. Get yourself a latest reasonable price, $200 and something. Get yourself a good air filter that will disinfect your air and don't make you smell old and musty. Find other solutions to mothball. Don't smell like mothball. You start smelling old. You do these things and it's going to be for your better. I don't understand why people struggle against this. This is for your better. So you can be comfortable as you get older. As I say, if you have a condo, get something on the first floor. Why struggle up the stairs? It's not worth it. If you have a house and it's built for a family, get something built for a single person or a couple. It's worthwhile. If you have a house you can maintain it, you have the money to maintain it, go ahead and maintain it. But if you start becoming a headache and it's sucking money out of your bank like it's a bloodsucker, it is not serving its purpose. Remember, everything is built and you have to maintain it and service it, but it's supposed to service you more than you service it. If the thing is taking up more effort and time and money out of your life than you're putting into it, you gotta go. That's the philosophy. You maintain that philosophy. So this is where now downsizing or maintaining or getting something that is for your comfort. Your housing is supposed to be for your comfort. Very new appliances. So the appliances are not going to break as often. Everything is fresh. Housing for your comfort is very important. Because it's about your comfort, your comfort, your peace of mind, your security. There's nothing wrong if you get an app on your phone and make the door open when you walk up to the door. I don't know if they have that on doors, but they have that for cars. So I'm assuming it's coming for home. So you go to your door, you have a grocery bag in your hand, you have a free hand. You walk up to the door, it sends your phone and it opens the door. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of your retirement. That's your reward for all your hard labor. But if you haven't been there fighting with the key and the door lock needs to be replaced and it's getting rusty and you can hardly open it, call a locksmith. Have them just replace the door. And why go through all that discomfort? You're older. It's your reward. Your health is important. So as I say, you're not going to stop the aging process. Notice the Lord says you could get extra time if you maintain your health. This is something I've proved over and over again. You can be in your 40s and you feel like your 30s. You feel like your 20s some days. You could be in your 50s, you feel like your 40s and whatever. You could be 80 and feel like you're 60. It's worth it. Worth to feel and look like you're in your 60s and your 80, you feel good. It's nothing beats just getting up and feeling good. How about that? So take care of your health. And all of this to me is part of taking care of health. Your social connections. I've met old people. Yesterday I was in Lowe's, and there's a lady I always talk to when I'm there, and she recently lost her husband. And I was talking to her, and she has kids and all that, but she, you can see the pain still of the loss of her husband. I was thinking, wow, I walked away, and while I was in my car leaving, the first thought in my mind is that I could see her being part of like my church family, just for the support. Even if the person say I'm not really religious and everything like that, just come and be part of, get a support. And we have that there, but I could see having more people like that, because that social connection is often lost, even though many times they are family members, but just people to give them some love, some clean Christian love. Talking about people trying to rip them off, or people trying to take drugs around them, and all that stuff. Just a clean, stress-free. This is, to me, is as you get older, you want to have less stress in your life, because things get on top of your nerves. You start becoming more miserable. So you want to eliminate the reasons for stress. All of this does this. You have some good, clean social connection where some people love you and give you some love. So I see, I'm going to invite her next time I connect with her and say, hey, come by. At least give us a look in. If you don't like it, never come back. It's okay. One of the things one has to do, I really believe, is set your house in order. That was what was told Hezekiah. Set your house in order. Write yourself a will. What's going to happen to your property when it's all said and done? Write a will so that when you leave, you not only before you leave, it's just giving you peace of mind. The few things I have in these crocus bags over here, these burlap bags, few junk I have, give it to these people, and then nobody fight over the junk. That's what it is. Now, if you follow what I was saying here, and you could call it downside, but get a house to your comfort. Somebody could see them and be like, man, I want that house. That thing is hooked up. And so then you write a will because you don't want people to fight over it. But get a nice, I go into this and I see these nice kitchens, these nice, appliances, blah, blah. Get those things. Get one of those that it play music for you while it's washing your laundry. Play your latest Christian hit. Get one of those. I know, I've not seen that. I haven't seen a washing machine that play music for you. This is what you could do. You in your small laundry room, your little place, you can get one of these speakers, and you connect it to your phone. So whatever you're doing, wherever you're in your apartment or your house, that's hooked up for your comfort, you can play music. You can listen to Revive Reform Radio right to the Bluetooth speaker. Bring an electrician, let him hook up the Bluetooth speaker for you, and you can listen to me while I'm eating your breakfast, and you can go to the bathroom, you can still hear me. So write a will, so when you die, those things are taken care of, so there's no headache, and nobody have to guess. This is just you preparing, acting as an adult and a human being with two craniums. With a cranium, with a brain. Prepare for hormonal changes. Don't tell me that you're going through a hot flash and you're not taking black quash, or you're not taking YM or Vitex or some type of herbs. I hope you're not listening to me and you're not one of these people that open the fridge and jump inside of the fridge to cool down. You got to be taking some herbs for your hormones to balance you out. It's just part of life. Don't be shocked by it. If you're a guy, same thing. You need some herbs for your hormonal change. You're going through them also. I'll be taking some stuff. And this is part of getting older. When you're younger, if I say that to a younger person, they can't get it. Now, here's the problem. If they got it at that age, and I wish I got even more, I became vegan at 20-something, early 20s. But I wish I had gone harder. Certain things I didn't understand as I understand now. Didn't understand the place of herbs when I was younger. Because what it is that things, I'll push back against the aging process even harder if you do it younger. Remember to create in the days of your youth. So prepare for hormonal changes. It's gonna come. Just start figuring out what you're gonna do. It's not happening. Financial stability is important. It will be better for you to have $50,000 worth of assets than have $500,000 worth of debt going into your retirement. Pull back. No matter how much money you have coming in every month, pay off your debts, invest some money, put away some of your acorns. Because you don't know. I'm meeting people who are still driving in the 80s. So if you told those people that you're going to retire at 65 and 85, you're going to still be functioning, they probably would have got a part-time job and over those years work and, do some things differently. So you prep up for this because it's a change in life that you could die a day after you retire. Or you could be living 20 years after you retire, still having your function, and realize you didn't make enough preparation. It can't hurt. If you did do these preparations, what you could find is that you could come to 55 and you're set. While another person didn't do no preparation and come to 75 and still struggling. You don't want that. Also here, a greater purpose in life. When one is younger, the more vain a person is. They have no thought of legacy. They have no thought of what they're going to left behind, what the record they're going to left behind. All they're thinking about is getting drunk, getting high, partying, sex, blah, blah. But as you get older, have some more purpose in life. Bless something. Do something charitable. Volunteer. Have something you're doing that is meaningful to others. Life is better that way. Life is actually way better that way because we're not animals. Most people live like animals with this partying business. Glad I got out of that. When I got out of it. Remember, overall, when it comes down to health, most of it is comfort and satisfaction. To be satisfied in life and to be comfortable in life. We eat healthy because we want to be comfortable. I don't like pain. You don't like pain. You have some remedies at hand. At this age, you're supposed to start learning what is your Achilles heel, what is your sore foot, what is your sickness, the weakness in your body. And you need to know the remedies you have for that. So that you have some herbs, some natural remedies, some solutions for it. Know these things. And when you know these things, you're making your preparation for what's coming. Because what's coming is coming. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 5 says, "For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know it not anything. Neither have they any more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love, their hatred, their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more portion for everything in anything that is done under the sun." So it says, "Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, drink thy wine with merry heart. For God know and accept thy works. Let thy garment be always white." Praise the Lord. "Let thy head lack no ointment." That's very good. And get some of the good expensive, ointments, like, the various serums for your face to keep your face as nice and shiny and bright and young, youthful. "Live joyfully with the wife of thy youth. Thou lovest all the days of thy life, which he had given thee under the sun, all the days that you have lived, and all the labor that you have." And I cut it there. So live joyfully with thy wife. So if you're not living joyfully with thy wife, you need to talk to me about taking some herbs to build up your hormonal levels so you can have the drive that you have to live joyfully with your wife. And enjoy some clean clothes and some good food. And live comfortable. As I say, I don't like to be uncomfortable when I'm young. Well, you can deal with it when you're young. But as you get older, you want to be a little bit more comfortable. And seek a different way of living. And this is, as I say, it's an introduction to this topic. I'll be talking more about it. Because I realize so much of our society is growing old. And they're growing old miserable, uncomfortable, in a lot of pain. And this is part of life per se. But you want to limit that as much as you can. And, live joyfully. And God will bless you. Let us pray. Our Father who art in heaven, I thank you for the blessings of your word, the blessings of these thoughts and ideas. Pray they may bless those who are here, whether they have to make the adjustments for themselves because they're in haste and life is running out, or they have to advise others. May you bless us, dear Lord, that we might have the right words and really help those that are older, that they might choose a way, dear Lord, that will make them more comfortable and that they can prepare their soul to see thee coming in peace. May you bless us, we pray, for Christ's sake. Amen. Thanks for being with me here on the Revive Reform Radio. Looking forward to talking to you again live tomorrow morning, where we should do current events. Until then, I pray that you may continue to walk with the King.